How's the week gone?
It's been a good week. It's obviously a little bit of an 8-day turnaround, so it was good to freshen up during the weekend and then get back into our work. It's a Gore match. It's a big match this weekend for both teams.
A couple of changes here. Can you talk us through 9-10 Roigard Peradon?
Yeah, look, Cam's been impressive, isn't he? He's taken his opportunities, and we believe this is the match for him. Just with the game management, the kicking, there'll be a fair bit of kicking. If the match goes to plan for both teams, I can imagine, and then Bowden comes back in after playing extremely well against England, and he's clear with his head knock.
Party at Openside hasn't played there in 3 years, I don't think, for the All Blacks. Is that an easy change for him to switch to?
Oh, he's played there for Kobe all season, and he's finished a few tests for us there. So look, he's a few games in, his experience, he'll slot straight into it. And obviously Wallace is into 8, his preferred position, and it's a good little combo in it with Sam Penny. So circumstances have led to this, and something we've looked at for this year, and now's the time.
Reza, you run this idea that 6, 7, 8, really, other than scrummaging, it's almost irrelevant what number they wear. Yeah. Have you always believed that?
Personally, I played all 3. So once you get, it depends if you're a line-out jumper or you're good at defending in the back line, inside the 10 and covering space. So it depends on the individual skill set, but probably more and more in this day and age, especially, a lot of our midfielders can play wings, a lot of our 10s can play fullbacks, and even in the old 9 has to play wing at some stage. We cover all those scenarios. You've got to play 2 positions if you want to be an All Black here.
Scott, you like intuitive rugby, speed and automatism. How much of a challenge is it to really reshape your background with the?
Look, as mentioned, there's a lot of speed. That's one thing Artie brings. He's very quick, and he'll get some opportunities on the ball and in and around the line out. So, there's some really good athletes in those 3 positions.
In terms of chasing Antoine Dupont, how much of a challenge is it to
chasing Antoine?
Antoine Dupont.
Oh, oui.
No? You're not going to chase him?
We know how much influence he has on the game. Look, he's a master tactician. Stade de France is a place where he's played some incredible rugby, won a gold medal. We're aware of his brilliance, and look forward to playing him. Special.
Right. Sam Penny obviously played a couple of games at the start of the year and has had a lot of game time since. What have sort of been his work-ons over the season?
I played against Japan, so I think it's important. He's match fit. He's been in and around the group. He's obviously had a couple of cameos at the end of games, but look, he's growing through the year. That's the biggest thing for us. He's taken his opportunities, has really focused and honed it, his skill set through all of trainings and all areas of his game, and now's his opportunity.
Just on that Bowden versus Damien, assuming Damien had a great test match last week, is there a temptation to stick, or how tough was that decision, put it that way?
We talked. It was very tough. It's a great discussion to have when you've got 2 10s in form and they're both good tacticians. Both kicking well. That's the part that we work deeply at. And the one thing about D-Mac is he's probably the best off the bench, we believe, in the world. And his role, when he comes on, he can change the game. And now he's doing it as a starter. So it's a good discussion and a good selection he'd like to have.
How much did he and Safa learn, from that big test match? Probably the best test match of their careers, both of them. Yeah. How much can they now impart from the bench with what they learned last week?
Yeah, look, we know how important finishing games are, and because because Safa got on for Cody so early in the English match, gave him a lot of confidence, and he could nearly go the distance in that next test match. And after even making the error, there's the growth in Asafo's ability to back it up and trust himself. So either could start. It's great, isn't it? Yeah.
Reza, as a group of selectors, are you spending a little bit more time deliberating the makeup of your bench perhaps, than say you were when you first came into the job? Has that become, an elongated area of discussion for you?
We didn't have any discussion because the bench was the bench. We didn't actually have anyone else. Like now, we've actually, as you said, we've got opportunity. We've got 2 or 3 guys. It's difficult not to play Ethan de Groot, but the other 2 are playing great footy. As simple as that. The impact that Offa's made, and they're just a prime example. Ethan's done everything he can. He's been exceptional off field and owned the situation he's in, and we've gone for performance. We've backed a rewarded performance.
And what about utilising it? When to put it on, when to inject guys. Again, is that something that has taken a wee bit of time as a group to learn?
Yeah, a little bit around the timing, and especially in Test football, sometimes you're in the holding bay for a bit longer, just because of the style of the game. If a penalty comes up and you can't put them on, and so we have. You're still a little of instinct and intuition in it, but also a little bit of planning. Yeah.
2 big wins. How does that affect the momentum and feeling heading into this weekend?
Effect? Yeah. This Test match in front of us is really important. Obviously, playing for a Dave Gallagher trophy, which means a lot to us or both countries. It's a lot of heritage. There's a lot of history, and someone who volunteered so much for our country. We've touched on it this week, and to come here to it's been a while since we've had a result here, and it just shows the enormity of what it means for both teams. So it's a big occasion.
Razor, do you think you've got a good gauge on where France are at the moment? They're quite a hard team to pick after the World Cup. What sort of trajectory they've got?
Well, France strengths are still the same. Their DNA is that they like to play down your end of the field, and once they get rolling and offloading and go through you, they're very hard to stop. Very instinctive team. They've got a balance of French flair and also high discipline, and some stars there that they can punish you with their feet. Ramos can kick a goal, can't he? So we're aware of all their strengths.
There's a lot of Polynesian players in the French team.
Yeah.
At key position. Do you think they're following the steps of the New Zealand rugby?
Yeah, look, they perform, they get picked. There's a lot of, different diversity in your culture here in France, and they're coming through. Their generation's coming through and playing great footy. They look at the Toulouse team. It's a special team. Just to name a few, and obviously being playing here, I keep an eye on all the teams and a lot of the Polynesian players. Mavaka is Fortuna. Is he Wallace? Wallace and Fortuna. Oh, what a great story that is. What a player he is. And it's a gift of rugby. It brings the whole world together. And there's definitely a few on the field that'll put their hand up. Put their hand up.
You mentioned your time in France. I think it's 3 years at Perpignan.
Yeah.
What did you learn about that time, about French rugby during your time there? And have you been able to apply that this week?
I learned about Christophe Porcu. Tu te souviens de lui? Il est très français. Look, the French style, our trainings, the way they, the story about the game, how they wanted to play, and the movement and the smell. There was a lot of gestures and talking, and so I learnt those gestures before the language really. God, jouer, and it was a great way because obviously it came through the All Black and Crusader system, was very disciplined, very structured, and in France they didn't like that. They liked a little bit of mauling and jouer, so the contrast was different, and it's just a different way to play. There's no wrong or right way, it's just a different way to play. And you learn a lot about yourself, and it's definitely helped me in my coaching because you get to understand the different strengths of teams and philosophies.
Razor, you've obviously played at the Stade de France before. It's a pretty intimidating stadium.
Yeah.
What are some of your most recent experiences there?
It was just over 20 years ago, 2000. Played in the exact fixture against Fabian, I believe. So it's a bit of a turning of the clock back, isn't it? just the enormity of the passion. The Matia is a very powerful song. It means a lot to the French, and they get in behind it, and the emotion and the feeling in the ground is pretty special. It's one of the great places to play in World Rugby.
Just on Patrick Tuipulotu, 50th Test this week. It's been a bit of a long road, I suppose, for Patrick over the last 10 years to get to this point. How important is he to what you're building at the moment?
Oh, look, yeah, he could start too, couldn't he? He's one of those ones that, you know, we want competition in our squad, and Patrick is a great professional. He's getting better with age and some of his game, or a lot of his game. But probably the biggest thing for us is leadership, and the mana in the group is so high, and he's performed every time he's had the opportunity this year, so we're really pleased for him. His 50th Test, it's great for him and his whānau, his family. Yeah.
Scott, you've been in tour for long, still 2 games to go. Is the impatience of to finish and go back to the families is something concrete in the mind of the players, or just a light mental play?
This is week every day is important to us. We obviously came through Japan, and we sent some players up a little bit earlier so that this week they could have all the energy and own, and that's our focus, to make sure that this week in front of us we get right, and we've done that really well. We've got a good balance. Paris is a big city. We've done our sightseeing now. And now it's time to play some rugby. So I think touring is, if you get the balance right, you can get the best out of it. Yeah. Any questions in French? No? We get to practice? No, c'est bon, merci, les gars.